Thank you for joining me today. We're going to start our practice lying on our backs. So if you'd like to make your way down, get yourself into a nice comfortable position. Just take the heels of your feet to the corners of your mat so that your legs are wide open. Just place the backs of your palms on the floor so that your palms are facing upwards towards the ceiling. And if it's comfortable for you today, just close your eyes and relax. So we're just going to take a few moments here just to allow the body to relax and allow the mind to focus. I encourage you to let go of any thoughts of yesterday or any thoughts of your to-do list for today or even tomorrow. So we're just going to concentrate on the present moment. Just giving yourself time to focus and just check in with your body. Just allow everything to relax and release any tension out of the body. So just nice and easy breathing through the nose, inhaling and exhaling both through the nose. And just focus on the breath for a moment and just see where it travels to in the body. If you're breathing into the chest, just try and relax the body, relax the breath a little bit more just by controlling the breath and taking it down deep into the belly. One more breath into the belly. Really inflate the belly like a balloon. And then exhale and let it go. Just returning to normal breathing. So we're just going to pull both knees into the chest. And you could just gently rock the knees back and forth. And then hold the knees still and just rock gently from side to side. So you're just giving your spine just a gentle massage before we start. Coming back to stillness at the center, just circle the knees, just nice and gently to start with, small circles. So we're just starting to work into the hips. You can make those circles bigger if you want to. And then let's just take the circles in the other direction. And then you're going to come back to center. You're just going to allow the knees to drop over to one side. You just might need to adjust your hips a little, just that your knees could go over. Just take your opposite arm out in the opposite direction. And if it's comfortable for you, just turn your head to look towards that straight arm. If that's not comfortable, it's perfectly okay to keep your head facing forward or to turn the head in the direction of your knees. But we're just getting into a nice gentle spinal twist here. And also just pay attention to the placing of your ankles. See if you can make a nice 90-degree ankle at the knee so that your ankles are directly in line with your knees. And just hold it here for another few breaths. And then inhale the knees to the center and exhale and allow them to drop over to the other side. Again, taking your opposite arm out in the opposite direction. And once again, if it's comfortable for you, just turning your head in the direction of the arm. When you're twisting, try and keep both shoulders down, flat on the floor. So if that means the knees are up in the air, that's fine. Again, just taking a few breaths here. Paying attention to the placing of your ankles. The hand of the side of your knees can just rest either on your belly, can just rest them on your thigh. You can use it to help to pull your legs down. It's entirely up to you. It's your yoga. You do what's comfortable, what works for you today. Then you're going to inhale the knees back to center. Just placing both feet on the floor. You're just going to grab hold of your right leg. So just pull your right knee in. And as you're holding onto your knee and pulling it in towards the chest, just start to circle your foot in one direction. So we're just starting to mobilize into the ankles. And then maybe take those circles in the other direction. And then just holding your foot still, just flex and point, flex and point, flex and point, flex and point. And then just take that leg straight up. Just hold the leg at the back of the thigh. Take the leg straight up and see if you can straighten that leg. Pull the toes towards the face so your heel is pressing up towards the ceiling. And then maybe grab hold of your okay. Then we're just going to bend and straighten the legs. So we're just working into the hamstring. So bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend, straighten, bend. Last time, and straighten. Hold the leg. Press the heel up towards the ceiling, point the toes to the floor. And then maybe take your hands up a little bit higher on the leg and pull that leg even closer towards your body. And you may even want to raise your head and lift your head towards your shin. Keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. Keep pulling the leg in. And then release back down to the floor and release that foot back down to the ground. Let's try the other side. So you're going to pull the knee in and just hold it there. And just start to circle the foot in one direction. And let's take it in the other direction. And then should we flex and point? So we flex and point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, and point. Just working into the ankles. And just taking the legs straight up into the air, just grabbing hold of the back of your thigh. And we're going to bend and straighten. So we're just starting to wake the hamstrings up. So bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend, straighten, and bend. Each time, see if you can take it a little bit straighter and straighten. And just hold it there. So you're just going to press the heel up towards the ceiling and point the toes down towards the floor. Hold it there. Keep pointing. And then maybe raise your arms up a little bit higher on the leg. So you can pull that leg a bit closer towards you. See if you can lighten the bend in the knee. So some of you may be like this with the bend in your knee. That's fine if that's where you are today. We're just working towards straightening out that leg and really stretching into that hamstring. And again, just take your hands up further on the leg and raise your head towards your shin. Still keeping your toes pointing down towards the face and the heel pressing away. And then release back down. Well done. All right, so we're going to pull both knees into the chest. Okay, separate the knees so they're about armpits width. And if it's then just grab hold of where you can today. So either back of the thigh or the calves or the ankles or maybe even the edges of your feet. So you're just pulling the knees down towards your armpits or towards the floor. Remember to keep the knees nice and wide. Try and lengthen the back of the neck so you're not scrunching, your head's not tipping back, so you're not scrunching that muscle, the muscles in the back of the neck. Try and keep your chin tucked in slightly and just lengthen the back of the neck. So nice deep breaths through the nose, inhaling and exhaling. And you're just pulling the knees down towards the floor with each exhale. Try to keep as much of the back on the floor as you can. And it's nice to keep your eyes closed in the practice. I find that when I'm practicing, I've got my eyes closed because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing, really getting that connection with my body. Good, well done. And then letting go. So again, we're just going to take the legs up into the air. So straight up, just hold the legs straight up. You can place your hands wherever's comfortable for you today. Again, you might want to place them on your thighs. You might have them on your belly. You might need to put them on the floor beside you to help keep those legs up. So you're just holding the legs up for a little while. And again, you can pull the toes down towards you and press your heels away. Just whatever's comfortable for you in your practice today. The reason we're holding our legs up in the air is because we're just allowing the blood to flow back from the feet all the way down, which gives the heart a nice rest, which it obviously deserves because it's just pumping constantly 24 hours, 7 hours a day. Okay, and then just bend your knees. All right, so we're just going to grab hold of your either wherever is accessible to you today. So whether that be your calves, your ankles, or wrapping your index finger around your toes. Just try to straighten your legs out. So take your legs wide, nice and wide, and straighten them out. So you're still pushing your heels away from you, getting your legs as straight as you can. Remember again, if you have to have a bend in your knee, that's fine. What's important is that you're feeling a nice stretch in the back of the thighs. You might feel a stretch on the inside thigh as well if you've got tight inside thigh muscles also. But you're just taking the legs out as wide as you can, straighten them out as much as you can. And breathing. And then release. So letting go of the legs. You can use your hands to help. Just place the hands on the outside of the legs and bring the knees back in. Just pull the knees in. And you might want to rock back and forth. And then one big rock and bring yourself up to sitting. Well done. Okay, coming to the center of your mat, just sitting in a nice, comfortable crossed leg position. Sitting up nice and tall, lengthen the spine. So imagine you've got a string pulling up your head, pulling you up nice and straight. It's going to inhale your arms up. Bring the palms together as you stretch up. Then exhale, you're going to bring one hand down to the floor and then bend to the side. So we're just stretching into the side of the body. Again, inhale the arm up. Exhale, bring it down to the floor. Other side, inhale, arm up. And exhale as you bend to the side. So we're just stretching into the sides. Remember, trying to relax your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears as you stretch. Then inhale, arm up. Exhale and bring it back down to the floor. Just going to place one hand onto the knee, the other hand behind. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale and twist. Turn to look over your shoulder behind you. Just stay here and breathe. Keep looking behind you. Keep twisting, feeling that twist in the spine. And exhale and come back to center. Let's go to the other side. So the other hand on the other knee, hand behind you. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as you twist. So you're looking at the wall behind you. And then as you exhale, coming back to center. I'm going to do a forward fold now. So you're going to inhale, lengthen. Raise the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, turn the palms to face forward and fold out over your legs. Just rest the hands, bring the hands all the way down to the floor and relax your head and shoulders. So again, it doesn't matter how far you are in this pose. Some of you might be here and that's enough for you. That's perfectly fine. And some of you will be lower down. Some of you might even fold all the way down and can rest your head on the floor. So we're just stretching into the back of the body, stretching into the bottom area, into the lower back. But be mindful not to go too far. Don't overstretch. There's no pain in yoga. If you feel any pain in any of the poses, you're going too far. So just ease out of the pose. Only go to a point where you feel a nice gentle stretch. Nothing too overpowering. And walk your hands back and come on back up. We're going to come onto all fours and we get ready for our cat-cow. So setting up for the cat-cow, your knees are going to be hip width apart. So each knee is underneath each hip. Your ankles in line with your knees. And you can have your toes tucked if you like, or you can release the toes so that they're pointing back behind you. Your hands directly underneath your shoulders with your fingers pointing forward. Just spread the fingers as much as you can. We're going to look forward and we're going to inhale, the head rocks up and the belly simultaneously dips towards the floor. When you exhale, you're going to round the spine, press in through the arms and tip your pelvis towards your head. Exhale as you round. The head is going to rock up. The belly drops towards the floor at the same time. Feel your hips reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhale and round. Drop the head, push up through the shoulders. Feel a nice stretch across the back of the shoulders. Pull your pelvis in towards your head. And keep that going. Let's do this in your own time and with your own breath. Movement is with breath. To keep the movement nice and fluid. Feel the movement in the spine. And come back to center. Well done. So from here, we're just going to press up into a downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under and press up into an upside down V shape. So you want to press your heels towards the floor and not to worry if your heels don't quite get there today. If you've got tight calves or you have tight hamstrings, maybe that won't happen for you today. If you need to keep a bend in your knees again as well, that's fine. If you've got the bend in your knees, just try and walk your dog so you're just pedaling the feet one at a time. And then let's push the heels back towards the floor. So you're pressing into your hands. You want to try and have a nice straight line from your hands to your hips. And another nice straight line from your hips down towards your heels. Keep pressing your chest towards your thighs or chest. Imagine you're pushing your chest down towards the floor, whichever one works for you. But you want to have your hips high, shoulders up away from the ears, and your heels are pressing down towards the floor. Stretching into the hamstrings. Well done. And then you're going to drop back onto your knees. You're going to take your right leg forward. So we're coming into a nice lunge. Just place the hands on the inside of your legs. Not the inside of your leg. And just stay here and just feel a nice stretch. You want to come up onto your knee and lunge into your front knee. So now be mindful again of your front knee. So just have your ankle underneath your knee because you want to be mindful not to put strain on that knee joint here or the knee ligaments. And you're dropping your hip flexor down towards the floor. So you should feel a nice stretch here in the hip flexor. And you might want to take your arms up. So inhale, arms up and stretch. Point your fingers, index fingers up towards the ceiling. Stretch up. Fingers pointing up. Hips dropping down. And then exhale as you bring the arms down. Bring the hands inside your legs. And let's take that leg back and let's try the other side. So you're going to take the left foot forward this time. Place the left foot on the floor. Remember to have your ankle directly underneath your knee. So hands on the inside of your left leg. Just stay here for a moment. And then come on up into an upright position. Place your hands onto your hips. You can stay here. Drop your hips towards the floor. And if you want to go further, inhale, take your arms up. Clasp your hands, pointing your fingers, your index fingers. And dipping your hips further towards the floor. Stretch up. And then exhale, open the arms, come on back down, hands on the inside of your left leg, and take that left leg back. And then just press it back into your child's pose. So you're pressing your bottom towards your heels and just dropping your head onto the mat. If your head doesn't quite reach the mat, again, that's fine. You might just rest your elbows on the floor and stay here. Otherwise, just rest your head all the way down, forehead down, and your arms are either straight out in front or alongside your body like this. And just relax wherever you are, just relax into the pose. This is your child's pose. And then just bring yourself up to sitting on your knees. So we're just going to come to face forward. Again, just coming to the center of your mat, come up onto your knees. I'm just going to do another side stretch. So just taking your leg out to the side, toes pointing forward, rest your hand onto your thigh. Inhale, your other arm up, and exhale as you bend to the side. So you're stretching into the side of the body, the arm that's in the air for your gate pose. And then inhale the arm up, exhale as you bring it down onto the floor. We're going to sweep the other arm forward and then exhale as you take it back and just take it all the way back, as far back as is comfortable for you today. So head back, arm back, just pressing your hips forward. And then coming back to center. This is a nice front body opening pose. So the other side, going to take the leg out to the side, toes pointing forward, the edge of the foot on the floor. Just place your hand onto your leg, onto your thigh. Inhale your arm up and exhale and bend to the side. Again, I'm closing my eyes. I find it more comfortable and I can go deeper in the stretch when I've got my eyes closed. But if that's not comfortable for you today, that's absolutely fine. Keep your eyes open. And then inhale the arm up, exhale, bring it down to the floor. We're going to sweep the other arm in front and exhale as you take it back and open up the front of the body. So you're pressing your hips forward, taking your arm and head as far back as you can for your wild thing pose, wild thing. And coming back to center. Well done. Okay, so we're just going to finish off with a back bend. Coming up onto your knees. Placing your hands onto your lower back. So with your fingers pointing down. So your fingers will be just on the top of your bottom. And then you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Elbows back, squeezing together. Press the chest forward and lean back. So you're keeping your hips pressing forward. Be mindful not to lean back through the knees. So the legs, the thighs stay where they are. You're just pressing your hips forward and you're just taking your head back. And come back up to center. Sit your bottom down onto your heels. Let's go back into a child's pose. So just resting your head onto child's pose. Just take your knees a little bit wider. Rest your bottom down, just let your body drop between your knees. And again, forehead to the floor and arms out in front. So we're just going to finish off here in our child's pose. So just stay here for as long as you like. Just take a few breaths. And remember, you can stay here for as long as you like. Or if you want to join me in coming out of the pose, coming out of the practice, come on up. Sitting onto your bottom. Come into a comfortable seated position. We'll take one last healing breath together. Inhale the arms up. Bring the palms to meet at the top. Exhale as you draw down that healing energy into the heart. And just dipping your head in gratitude as you thank yourself for taking this time just for yourself today. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this Hatha Yoga practice today. I look forward to seeing you again in the next practice.